Attitude is everything. Attitude can definitely have a big impact on how we approach and tackle challenges in life. It can be easy to let negative thoughts and emotions take over, but having a positive attitude can help us stay motivated and persistent even when things get tough. It can also help us build better relationships with others and create a more enjoyable life overall. It's not often we use the term first fruits in our day-to-day lives, but as we approach a season of gratitude and giving, I pause to reflect on the meaning of this biblical reference and ask myself, am I giving God my first fruits or my leftovers? Imagine how our Heavenly Father feels when we're reluctant to share our best with Him, who has so freely given to us. Metaphorically speaking, sometimes we give God our product that's from the bottom of the barrel, nearly rotten. Literally speaking, we give Him the last bit of our time, talent, and treasure after we've used it as we saw fit. What are the first fruits in today's terms? The concept of first fruits is rooted in biblical times when people lived in an agrarian society. The harvest season was significant because that was when the farmers would reap what they had sown into the crops all year. It was the payoff for their labor. God called His people to bring the first fruits from their harvest to Him as an offering to demonstrate the Israelites' reverence for God. Leviticus 23:10. It showed that they trusted Him to provide enough crops to feed their family. God told them that if they brought their first fruits to Him, He would bless all that came afterward. To the Israelites, these first fruits were an investment into their future. We no longer live in an agrarian-based society, and most people watching this are probably not farmers. But the idea of first fruits is still relevant today. It just takes on a symbolic meaning for us. First fruits mean any income or blessings that we've received. Here are 3 simple ways to share it generously. Consider the idea of sacrifice. Gifts aren't worth very much if they don't cost us something. Offer your time and talent. While it's natural to want to be selfish with how we spend our free time, we're called to use the gifts that God placed in us for Him. When we sacrificially serve others, we have the privilege of being His hands and feet. Acknowledge surprises that God brings your way. Maybe you received a Christmas bonus at work, or your insurance premium was lowered this year. Show your gratitude to the Lord for His provision by first sowing a portion of that blessing back into kingdom-building work, be it your church or a ministry whose mission is meaningful to you. When we invest our first fruits where God is already moving, the impact is exponential. Attitude is everything. God calls us to be good stewards of the blessings He gives us. When we give begrudgingly, He knows it, understanding that we're human and innately flawed. We'll wrestle with it from time to time, just as 2 notorious brothers did in chapter 4 of the book of Genesis. In the Bible story, Cain and Abel make an offering to God. Cain brings some fruit and vegetables, presumably something that was left over after he had fed himself and his family. Abel brought the best of what he had to God, the firstborn of the flock. The Lord looked with favor on Abel and his offering, but on Cain and his offering, He did not look with favor. Genesis 3-5. Cain and Abel's sacrifices remind us that we are to honor God with our best, sacrificing something that costs us or has great worth. Making a first fruit offering postures our heart toward God and allows Him to work in our life and in the lives of others. When we approach the Father with open hands, rather than crossed arms and a firm clutch on our belongings, it demonstrates that we're grateful for all He's given to us and we can be trusted with more. Jesus was God's one and only Son, and the best that humanity had to offer. If God gave us Jesus, His first fruit, so that we could have eternity with Him in heaven, doesn't He deserve more than our leftovers? As we enjoy this season of harvest and holiday, let's prayerfully consider what first fruits God is calling us to share generously. Philippians 4-8 says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things." This passage encourages us to focus our thoughts on what is good and worthy of praise, rather than dwelling on negative things. Colossians 3-2 says, "Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things." This verse reminds us to keep our perspective on what is eternal and important, rather than getting caught up in the temporary and insignificant things of this world. Proverbs 17:22 says, "A cheerful heart is a good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones." This verse highlights the importance of having a joyful attitude, as it can have a healing and rejuvenating effect on our overall well-being. Overall, the Bible encourages us to cultivate a positive attitude and to focus on what is good and noble, rather than dwelling on negative thoughts and circumstances.